stay fit in the 10 slot.
Inside.
Clearance by Williams and taken by Kyle Steen. Finn Russell, what a break, what an offload. Duhan van der Merwe with one of those slashing runs. Boom, boom from Duhan. And for Elliot D, goes the experienced man in Adam Beard. Tumbling away at the line. And Wales.
Here we go, drum roll please. Scotland versus Wales at Murrayfield. What more is there to say? I mean, this is a rivalry match. I mean, you're part of the same piece of land. You want to control it. You want to show that you are the best. Scotland coming off a loss against England. A lot to prove. You know, a foul taste in the mouth because at the end of the day, they were the better team of the day, but they didn't get the result. And that's what matters at the end. Wales, yet again, also looking actually brilliant. Looking good for about 60 minutes of the game against Ireland, you know, putting pressure on them. They look like a whole new team. This did not look like the Wales that have lost 14 or 15 matches in a row and been outside the world top 10. So a lot to prove, a lot to show for the new coach for Wales, and Scotland possibly fighting for their coach's position as head coach of Scotland. Now let's get into this game. We'll quickly go through the team lineups. We'll go through their previous results, and then we will come to the conclusion where we will make a prediction who we think will win. And same with you, put it in the comments below what your prediction is for the game. As at the end of the day, we can compare them after the match. We can see who got the closest. And I mean, you know, then you get some brownie points as well. Also, if you do support this channel, if you do just enjoy rugby, if you want to talk about rugby, if you want to follow rugby, hit that subscribe button right below the video. It takes you 1 second with your mouse or with your thumb. Just hit the subscribe. I mean, it doesn't affect you much. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps support the channel, helps me be able to create more time and more content for all of us, because at the end of the day, rugby is the best game invented on this earth. So let's get into it. Scotland, Wales. In the starting lineup, in the front row, we have, for Scotland, Pierre Schoeman, Dave Cherry, and Zander Fagerson. We'll finish off the tight five with Johnny Gray and Grant Gilchrist. You know, both of them have been solid. I mean, the tight five for Scotland have been fairly solid, apart from that game against Italy, where they were actually, you know, overpowered, to be honest. Then we move on to the starting five for Wales. We got Nicky Smith, who I was very impressed with last week. He had a brilliant game for me against Ireland, coming up against, you know, one of the best front rows in the world, and he showed himself in his physicality. It really shows. Then you got Elliot D, you got Will Griffjohn, Will Rowlands, and Dafford Jenkins to finish out the tight five. And we move on to the loose trio. You got Jamie Ritchie, you got Rory Darge, El Capitano in an open side, and Jack Dempsey, the ever reliable. And then for Wales, you got Jack Morgan, captain as well, who has just been brilliant. This Six Nations, he's not really put a foot wrong, I'll be honest. His tackling, I think he's only missed one tackle in 3 matches. He's a tackling machine. He's a running machine. He's scored a few tries. You can't ask for much more. The dude is a shoo-in into the British and Irish Lions squad, and possibly into the starting lineup as well. Then you got Tommy Reffel, who had a brilliant tackling match last week, and Taulupe Faletau, who also brings that experience back for the Welsh as well. Now we move on to the back line here. So you got Ben White starting in at number 9 for the Scots. You got Finn Russell. You got Dwan van der Merwe on the left wing. You got Tom Jordan back in at 12. You got Hugh Jones at 13 still. Darcy Graham at 14. And Blair Kinghorn, who has been playing out of his skin. I mean, he's been running. I think he's got the most carries possibly in the whole competition, actually. And probably the most running meters as well, to be honest. And then Hugh Jones, just a try-scoring machine. And we know what Dwan can do. He did it against England last week. Just a menace when he wants to be. And the back line for the Welsh, you got Thomas Williams, who's been brilliant for me. Gareth Anscombe, he brought a lot of control. You know, a 10, back into 10 position for Wales. What a surprise. And look at the difference it made. You know, don't put a 12 in at 10. That's just a minus opinion. Not everyone can do it. And Ben Thomas is a better 12 than he is a 10. And it showed last week. Then you got Ellis Mee on the left wing, who was brilliant as well. You got Ben Thomas back in the 12. Max Llewellyn, who is one of the best, you know, centres in the Premiership. And he's finally getting a shot with the Welsh. You got Tom Rogers in on the right wing. And Blair Murray, who also had a pretty good game last week, in at fullback to finish off the starting 15. Now on the bench for the Scots, you got Ewan Ashman, Rory Sutherland, Will Hurd, Gregor Brown, Matt Fagerson, George Horn, Stafford McDowell, and Kyle Rowe. And Stafford McDowell, just remember, he made that brilliant break on that set move to help set up that game-winning, possible game-winning try, should I rather say, against the English. Then you got Dewey Lake, who is back from injury. You know, was the captain before he got injured, so he's working his way back up to fitness. So a big, big inclusion for the Welsh, for sure. Then you got Gareth Thomas, Kieran Azarati, Teddy Williams, Aaron Wainwright, who I thought was going to have a bit of a bigger part to play in this tournament, but he's, you know, since that head knock in that first game, he hasn't been starting again. Then you got Rodri Williams, Jared Evans, and Joe Roberts to finish off the bench for the Welsh. So nothing too crazy there. I mean, the addition of Dewey Lake is a big plus for the Welsh, I think. Just bringing that leadership, bringing their old captain back, the physicality he brings. So I think, you know, in the forward pack, I think it's going to be fairly evenly matched in this match. But I think really where it's going to make a difference is in the backs. And I mean, the wings have played pretty good for the Welsh in the last few weeks. But yeah, that back line for the Scots is a whole different story. Then you can see here, so this is predicted from people who voted on Rugby Pass, and 83% think Scotland will win, 17% for Welsh. Then you can see it's being played obviously at Murrayfield. In the last 5 head-to-head meetings between the two, the Scots have won 3, the Welsh have won 2. You got an average points of 23 for the Scots and 18 for the Welsh, and only 40% of the home team wins and 40% first try wins in the last 5. So let's run through the last 5 results here for the Scots. Last match, lost to England, 16 points to 15, missing, 3 kicks, and any one of them would have won the match. You got losing to Ireland pretty badly, 32-18, beating Italy 31-19, beating the Aussies 27-13, smashing Portugal with a B team 59-21. And for the Welsh, it's losing 27-18 in a much improved Irish match where, I predicted Ireland to smash them, to be honest. So bravo to the Welsh. They really fed off their fans. Then you got losing to Italy 22-15, getting smashed by France 43-0, smashed by the Box 45-12, smashed as well by the Wallabies, which was a surprise 52-20. So it's a bit of a difference there. Now the last 5 meetings, all the way back in 2020, Scotland winning 14 points to 10. In 2021, Wales winning 25-24 in an nail-biter. Then Wales winning 20 points to 17. And then Scotland winning 35 points to 7. And then last year winning 27-26, in a game where I think the Welsh had their chances, right? They did. But Scotland put through in a very, very tight and a high-scoring match. So it'll be interesting to see in this match, but at the end of the day, we've got to make a prediction, and that's what we're going to do today. I think with the teams as they are, I think it's going to be quite tight for the first, 30 minutes or so. I think the Scots will pull off a sneaky try probably in the last 10 minutes of the first half, creating a little bit of a gap. Then I think it'll tighten up again for the next 10 minutes, and I feel like Scotland will score a couple of tries late to get the bonus point win, and end up winning the game 34 points to 18 to the Scots. That is my prediction, 34 points to 18, with the Scots scoring 4 or 5 tries and the Welsh scoring 2 tries, in my opinion. So 16 points is my prediction for the Scots to win it. Let's see how we go. Let's see what your predictions are. Please pop them in below. If you've watched this long, let me know who you think will win and why. And also, main thing is hit that subscribe button. You'll be able to see future videos, and like the video I mean, if you've watched this long, you might as well subscribe, might as well like the video, and you'll be able to see my next videos, and we can see how close we are. We can build our way through until this next World Cup, where I think it's going to be massive. And I live in Australia, so I will be on the ground. We'll be going around to pubs. We'll be going around outside the stadium, and we'll be talking to people. It's going to be cool. And if you want to be a part of it, hit that subscribe button. So thank you for watching. Let me know what your predictions are. Pop them in below, and I'll see you on the next one.